False.
False. Live ball or dead ball foul?
Dead ball.
Dead ball.
Dead ball.
Brian, turn your mic.
My mic is off. I'm getting some feedback up here. You referees don't just like to have the stadium microphones talking back at you.
So somehow.
Talking back at you.
Everybody here got it pulled up?
The referee shall have the authority to correct obvious errors in timing by the play clock if the discovery is prior to the snap. Saw one recently where it says, prior to getting it the same way that we could create the game clock, and that's just not true, right? The play clock, if we boof it, it is what it is. We just got to get going. A Team B player may grasp or hold an opponent in an effort to clear a path for a teammate to get to the runner.
False.
False. He may grasp or hold an opponent in an effort to get to a loose ball that he may legally possess, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the game clock is stopped following Team B's live ball foul, the only team to foul, the play clock will be set to 25 seconds.
Turn your volume. Turn your volume down.
Check.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks.
That's a rule change from a couple years ago, right? Fouls by B, only one that fouls, it'll be set to 40. We know B, helmets and injuries also put it to 40. That supersedes everything that's going on. Number 0 is a legal number.
True.
Sure is. Referee's decisions are final in all matters pertaining to game and any situation not specifically covered in the rules.
True.
True. Only the umpire may order the ball change between downs. False. Any official, right? Shot block, combination block by 2 or more teammates against an opponent other than the runner, with or without delay, where one of the blocks is below the waist, one of the blocks is above the waist.
True.
Straight out the book. Pass eligibility rules apply to both legal and illegal forward passes.
False.
False.
So somebody else got it wrong?
That's right. So you can't have illegal touching and an illegal forward pass, right? If you got ING, somebody comes in talking about, well, number 56 caught that. It's one or the other. So make the decision.
So which one supersedes the other?
If you've got a legal forward pass and there's no receiver in the area, or there's a clear identifier for the IFP, then I'd say you go with the illegal forward pass. Because many times it's going to be a spot foul as well, so it's going to be the one that hurts the most. Let's skip this one. Skip.
No.
Yeah, there's no limit to the number of coaches who may take part in an authorized team conference between the nines. False. Who may go out there? One coach. May he bring a tablet, communication device of any sort? No.
No.
A foul can cause loss of ball.
No.
It's not a touchdown when a loose ball is caught or recovered by a player while the ball is on or behind the opponent's goal line.
False.
False. That's fundamental number 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Horse collar fouls enforced as a live ball foul.
True.
And they've got to put that. They've got to denote that, because when might we see that? If we've got if he's out of bounds, or if he fumbles, and got the sideline really being in play there. And the field of play is the area within the sidelines and the goal lines.
True.
All right, let's see how we did. It's a minute.
It did not bubble, but we know. So went over this with the rookies the other night. The field of play is, of course, sidelines and goal lines. The field, sidelines and end lines, right? Good to know. Great job, guys.
His mic is muted.
And I've been working, but since I go to work, man, where we did, where we did, I was. But
Good. Rule change. The biggest one is this forward fumble rule change. So 24, not gonna read the whole thing, but we know that when a loose ball goes out of bounds, or when a ball in play possession goes out of bounds, the out of bounds spot is the foremost point of the football when it crosses the sideline, right? 25, when a loose ball goes out of bounds, the same thing, exception when forward fumble goes out of bounds or is ruled out of bounds between the goal lines. That would mean going out of bounds, or if we've got a player laying on the sidelines and he reaches out and touches and it makes it dead by rule, ball should be returned to the spot of the fumble. Easy enough, right? Any questions there? True. Fumble versus muff. So fumbles, loss of player possession other than by handing, passing, or legal kick. Muff, touching of a loose ball by a player in an unsuccessful attempt to secure possession. You gotta know the difference, right? Where that's gonna come into play many times when you see some screw ups is on a punt, where Mark Turner muffs it, you know, or he's attempting to catch it, doesn't get it, and we end up getting an IW in that case. If he hasn't possessed it, then any possession by Team K is going to end up shutting it down and then the play versus a fumble. We know either team can pick it up in advance at that point. Loose ball out of bounds. So a loose ball is out of bounds when it touches anything, including a player or game officials that is out of bounds. So it says player. We know going back to the definitions that would be one of the 22 that's going to participate during the down, right? Doesn't mean one of the subs over there. So specifically somebody that's participating. So we've got a pass towards the sideline. Team A receiver goes up for it. He's inbounds clearly. Has his hands on it. Everything about it is inbounds, but we've got a player standing out of bounds that reaches up and touches the ball. You know, while he's trying to gain possession. That's one of them screw ones, but we're gonna let that ride. He's a player. We're gonna play on. So forward fumble. Last year it wasn't in the book. This year we've got to have a rule for it when the clock is going to start. So if a forward fumble goes out of bounds, we're going to bring it back to the spot. Crank it up. Ready for play. That's at any point under 2 minutes, under 1 minute. The only time it says that, I'm not sure that they in the book.
There's one exception.
If that would be so, if say on Team R, sure enough, yep. Momentum would be an exception if there's a change of possession and Team B forward fumbles it forward out of bounds, then obviously we're going on snap. There, we gotta use common sense but if Team A has it and they fumble out of bounds.
Now, with that new rule, would we give the coaches a heads up that if they need to stop that clock, they need to call a timeout? I mean, is that appropriate, or do you just kind of mum's the word and they don't know the rule, they don't know the rule?
Early on, you can say it, or if it's time critical situation, you always want to use preventive officiating or keep an open line of communication with him. Say, hey, coach, I know it's late, time is waning, you're down.
Yeah.
Let me know what you want here.
Okay.
Michael. Mhm.
Oh, that's what.
Oh,
You want that on when you're doing.
There it is.
You want that on.
mhm.
I did that. It started me and thought I was doing something good. The game clock's at 2024. So this rule change, game clock will start on the snap. If the ball if the game clock stopped because the ball goes out of bounds, starting the snap, exception. That'd be the forward fumble rule, the new one in the book. So, and again, we just talked to just off the top, we talked about 3 or 4 different ways that it would start on the snap, but most often, if it would be a case where it's going to come back and A still has the ball and it's going to be on the ready. All right, some video.
Yeah, 57. God dang. We did. Hey, Joe, we can try to get them last meeting. Hey. I sent the meeting credit to Gary.
So they did plays it a few times. I watched this about 50 times and I couldn't even really see what the ball was. Maybe that's a better angle, but we're just gonna, okay, there it is. Stumbled out of bounds by about a yard, but I know the way some of you guys like to start the clock, even if it's clearly out of bounds. Don't hold back now. That's a forward fumble. Bag it where it was dropped in the field of play. You see that it goes out of bounds. Let the crew people know, specifically the umpire and the referee that are going to be standing there. We'll bring it back and wind it up.
You gotta watch the clock on that too. The clock operator likely gonna stop.
Yep. No, and we'd stop it too.
Yeah.
Yep. So you're official.
Make sure that when we start back up, he's.
Yeah, not going to be on cue with him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So again, growing pains during the first couple of weeks with this for sure. But I mean, but each of us are going to have 1, 2 a season max, and need to know we need to drill it now. This is one maybe a little bit more out open. You're going to be able to see this one clear.
It's like, what did you see?
What did you see? So again, the killing the clock, the dead ball signal, just kill it here. That's all that's needed. We know we only need 1 signal at the end of the down. So good. But what he's probably got going through his head is that a catch or no catch, right? For sure. But we'll say it was possession with a step or 2. But what we're getting at here is there's a forward fumble out of bounds. Guy was running full tilt too, right? And the wing officials are running full tilt behind him. It's going to be tough to get a really good beanbag spot there. Do the best you can. We don't have to throw it at that point. Obviously, if you're running down, you're going to pass the yard line that he was on. Drop it, and you've got a good spot. And you saw the umpire picked up. I think they misspotted it initially, and even been watching it full speed 20 times over the past couple of days. And who knows where it's supposed to be? Just pick a yard line, and it's good.
Good wing official would know.
I'm still watching the screen, eh?
Yeah, that's what's. That's what I noticed. Look at them still. Yeah. Where you took. Gotta be in position, you see that. Yeah.
Okay, another video.
He's slightly outside.
Yeah.
Slide this over just a little bit. No smoke, man. See. We what?
Again, here, this is maybe a foot difference in where it was. So it probably comes loose behind the big line. He recovers it out of bounds. It is slightly in front of the big line. So again, don't be bashful now. All you guys have been one o'clock. Kill it.
Right, so in that situation, all went backwards, but still wind the clock. Or-
What is
You're not ruling for the fumble out of bounds.
Yeah, that one was, what I saw was backwards. The ball bounced backwards, went out of bounds. So you would start the clock from snap in that situation.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
for sure?
It's not going back to the spot.
no, it goes, we're running out of bounds.
But this one, just take a look. We'll say he's at the 16 when it pops out, and he recovers it right on the 15 or slightly in front of it. But yes, you're right. If it's anything about it is backwards, it's a kill the clock and leave it there. Yep. So you can see the prompt in the top of the screen. Cameraman.
Any boots it out of bounds. That's a month. Doesn't matter.
Yep. So that's a muff, right? As Paul says, that's it.
That's right.
It looks like a kick, but
He's
that's
like, ooh, I'm gonna pick this thing up. Oh, dang it.
Someone's gonna be surprised.
He forgot his feet were bigger than his hands.
so. But all that it could have bounced on down to anywhere except for the pylon or beyond, and they'll be good and still be able to get it where he fumbled the ball. So just one more time, who's got jurisdiction over the cameraman?
And
So if you plow that guy, Rico, what's what do you?
All right, question, if that same thing happened, but when he kicked it, it was in the end zone.
Yep, when he muffed it in the end zone.
If he
Yep,
kicked
so-
it in the end zone instead of on the.
Still thinking about it.
It's not a new
You
form.
just said it's something different, I thought you said it's something different.
It is. So, and go back to the definition, fumbles forward out of bounds in the field of play is what we're talking about.
Okay, so
So-
what happened with the defense kicked it out of bounds, is what I'm asking.
In the end zone?
Yes.
Yep, touchback. Yep, so all the,
Even if he muffed it just in through the
The
end. zone,
defense
still
kicked
get
it out of bounds, and you can give it,
the defense.
you can give it back to the defense.
first stop was saying kick.
Just asking.
He muffed it.
Yeah.
That's a different story.
Okay.
Saying kick, that's a foul, right?
Well, he didn't intentionally kick.
That's the muff. That's the muff. If we're saying kick, that's the foul. Say, let's not say kick. It's a muff.
Oh,
so
I'm just
it-
asking.
field of play. So we talked about that. That's the area bound by the goal lines and the sidelines. So any forward fumble that goes out of bounds in that area, we're coming back to the spot of the fumble. If it's this is a hotly contested topic, even on the big NFL networks, and it seems like it comes up a few times a year on ESPN how it's inequitable that the offense fumbling through the end zone, it's a touchback. I don't think so. I think it's a good rule. It's consistent with everything else. That's editorializing though, but yeah, should have held on to it. Good question though, Alan. Just talking about field of play.
On that play, they come back to where the wide receiver fumble.
Yes.
Spot of the fumble, into the run.
Doesn't matter how far down.
This is a unicorn play kind of, right? So, it's 30 yards downfield, but it is what it is.
Unless it's a touchback.
Yeah, that's.
Unless it's a touchback.
That's gonna be hard to swallow.
That's what I was getting.
Something once in a while. Is that spoonfuls or?
Okay, this should be a little bit easier to diagnose.
That's backwards.
Backwards.
Regular roll, not a bad. Stop the clock.
I know that.
So this brings in our long-standing mechanic or word of mouth.
Yeah, but it goes backwards.
Of using the beanbag, right? We said, it doesn't matter based on high school enforcement procedures and everything else. Spot in the backfield doesn't matter because it's a loose ball play. Now it does for this particular case. Gotta have a beanbag down.
Even
Don't
if
fumble.
you fumble that ball 5 yards and the fumble will go 5 yards forward, and then you can have a muff.
Backwards.
Backwards 6 yards. They can send it 10 yards backwards out of bounds.
what happened here, right? And not as.
Still just another. They must get back to
So where's that spot gonna be? What's y'all on?
27.
I agree.
Yep, so it's done. Let's get that clear too. That's good. These are good points. Not the initial direction of the fumble, like we would consider a pass, right? It's if it crosses the sideline in the field of play. Is it in advance or behind the spot of the fumble? Then you're on. Garrett had it was some kind of Julio Jones, I think it's the fumble forward through the end zone. So that's all that was, but we've talked about that again. He's running down the field clear and drops it early or fumbles it and it bounces through the end zone. Touchback. Select fundamentals, player in possession of a live ball is a runner. What about a player simulating possession of a live ball?
Not running.
Not a runner. Fake runner. Player. So this is big, to major difference in the game from Saturdays and Sundays, as we know. A player who's eligible at the start of the down remains eligible throughout the down. Doesn't mean he can't foul and do some other stuff based on passes and such, but yeah, it's not going to be for him being ineligible. And a handed ball is not a pass. We've all seen it. All probably got caught with our pants down at some point on these jet sweeps, and it's an integral part of my pregame discussion with the coaches now. Coach, do you run any trick plays, crazy plays? No, man, we line up and run it. All right, good. Do you run any jet sweeps? He's like, oh yeah, we do have those. All right, well, thanks for that. That's not what it, but he thinks I'm talking about some water bucket something, but we want to get ourselves situated to officiate and not, pop bass with shovel pass, jet sweeps. So line of game, when is it established? After the ready play, when a new series is awarded. All fouls committed prior to the ready shall be administered before the line of game is established. Everybody knows that took the statewide exam last year. We had one like that. It was Dave said he and I were talking about it the other night. Whether it was a delay or coaches on the field after a questionable spot and the chains haven't, the ready has not been marked yet. All those are going to be assessed prior to us. If it's prior to the ready, prior to us setting the chains up. And new series always starts on first down. Always 10 yards. Yes, let's move by penalty. So if we have a ready, as Malford and I discussed last night, anything that happens at that point, delayed game, any of the dead ball fouls, right? Encouragements, false starts, etc. New series always starts on first down, meaning you may see a question here and there where team B intercepts it or recovers a fumble or whatever, and then throws an illegal forward pass, which technically includes a loss of down provision, right? But we're not going to say, oh, well, they did that and award B the ball, but with a second down, right? If everybody's on board with that. Yes. Does the line of game start on the front point, back point, or middle of the football? Yes. Yes. Front point, right? And so if it's touching the upfield portion of the tick or the yard line or the hash mark, that means that when we stretch the chains out, they've got to get to the downfield, the back portion of whatever corresponding yard. Yeah. And always 10 yards no. And if we've got a goal line involved, so if it's 1st and 5 from the B5, then we wouldn't. 1st and 5 is a misnomer. We'd call it 1st and goal, right? Lost down on penalty. And watching this one, of which the video starts a little bit late, so we can't tell where exactly the ball was snapped from. But this guy bounces all around the free blocking zone, right? So he's there, he's there, you know, that one's tight, they,
39.
Yeah, 39.
I don't know what you got.
Now you think,
nobody over there. So the 9 yard marks, I don't know if that's written anywhere, but that's the general line of demarcation, right? If you're throwing over there and you've got somebody at the top of the numbers and it's over his head, then you know, maybe give it to him. But if he's outside of that, don't be very judicious with it. I mean, I know you want to try and find somebody, but sometimes they're just trying to dump it, and it is what it is.
So mechanically, once again, without radios, we need help. So as a referee, I have no idea. There's nobody in the area. I'm looking at the quarterback. Somebody's got to come tell the Whitehead what happened. So without radios, we don't know.
All right, so you look at the rear stage, and that's a 1 up there, right? You can see it.
Yeah, first name.
Yep, first down. So with the pass just hit the ground in the team box. Boom, this guy's got it up. And this line of scrimmage person, you can tell he's still trying to process what he's pointing and doing some kind of signal.
He's saying he crossed the line.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but you ain't got no receiving area.
That's great. What's the fun? We need more information.
Need some more. Do you have a receiver over there?
Yeah, next question.
That's the next question.
Those are the 2 questions. Without fail, always in tandem. Line of scrimmage officials, even the umpire, if you see it, that guy looks pretty opinionated there. Was there receiving there? We've said it. Was there receiving the area? Did the ball across the line of scrimmage?
Yeah.
Always. And
Always.
those 2 things, always.
Okay.
There's a field judge in the line. They need to have information.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
They need to be coming in.
You have to come in. That is, we say when
No, eligible receiver right here in front of him.
we're using radios and you know, one of these type situations happens, and even if you see the guy on tape demonstratively hit his radio and say something, supervisor lights him up every time. Why didn't you come in? Urgency. Don't see you busting it in. It really gives them the business for, you know, mechanics breakdown.
Who does that?
No, I'm saying when we have radios, even though we've got them, and you would think that is the thought of these deeps, I guess, when they get into the situation that information can be relayed appropriately over the radio, it's not. You need to, whether you're the short wing or the field judge, as you said, come on in. Because it's a crew call, you're going to want to discuss it. The referee's head is spinning. He just saw this guy bounce freaking side to side for 8 or 10 seconds. Yeah, he doesn't know where the tackle box is. He's trying to find something to get him out of this. But all right, awarding a new series, scrimmage plays after first, second, third down. New series if the line gain is made during the down. Right, so got a handoff. It's first, second, or third down, and the rusher, the runner that is, possesses the ball and he's down beyond one game. Boom, first down, new series. New series if B commits a live ball foul with automatic first down penalty. What are they? They're all the roughings, right? Roughing the passer would be a good one. So we got a pass play, and quarterback takes a shot to the head. New series if B commits a live ball foul or dead ball, non-player, unsportsmanlike foul, and enforcement reaches the line of game. So go to the other side. I won't read them all again because they're the exact same except for the struck through portion of the bottom bullet. And it says dead ball, non-player, unsportsmanlike. So why wouldn't we include those on the 4th down bullet?
Was everybody?
Seating spot.
Yep. So there's the seating spot. Those 3 fouls, you would say are administered as a dead ball foul, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So we would take into account on first, second, and third down those plays because we've got another down to tack it on to, so to speak. So this is a vignette, as Steve Shaw likes to say, but
Hold on. No.
so we've got a,
Anybody else that got that? Oh,
yeah, the video's 2 minutes long and so many people, like, why don't they call holds on the edge in the SEC? I'm like, you know, they call them, they got that one, and it was a hold, you know, he's got bad hands on the outside, jerks him back as he's running by.
Scott Walker,
Yes. Yeah.
Charleston,
Huh?
from Charleston.
Charleston, I thought it was from.
It's been SIC.
What do you know?
You know, in the league now.
Huh?
In the league. In the NFL last year.
But if they call out Alabama, they get downgraded, don't they?
Oh, that's so.
I remember he was in, yeah.
So this play caught a lot of eyes when it came out. I think this was 2 or 3 years ago, because it's when the rule change came in where college guys didn't stop the clock after a first down. So they're slow to kill anything or not killing anything at all when we're third quarter, 13 minutes, and it's a very very tight line of game, made or not, and they don't communicate it. You know, we don't even so here it is.
Make sure I get your name down really quickly. I got you. Shoot, I'm on YouTube. I got
All right, so second down here, we'll talk about it for a second, but this is just really about communication. So he's short.
Yeah. Will they mark?
Yeah, I know.
Well, they think they marked him short.
Meanwhile, you got a short wing doing this.
We got a short wing doing this. The chains haven't moved, and here we go. We got Alabama on third down in a tush push situation, which is not what the heck they want to do if they've got first and goal. That is, so yeah, from the 11, sure, first and 10 from the 11.
They'd rather have the first if they can get another first.
Again, I mean, what do you say about this one, James, Jonathan? I mean, how are you communicating? We don't want Alabama or any other team in a tush push when we know it's first down. So this is one where I think if they run it, if the box is not, or you know, you could always use referees not chopping it back in or not moving until the at least the rear stake is set, at least something is in the ground. I don't know how you remedy this, but
What's the question?
the question is how do we keep a team from running a 4th down formation play when it's clearly first and 10 from the 11?
Slow down, first down. See the back stake on the 21, they got to the 11, first down.
Yeah.
So anyway, just
third.
Put them clear on the line. I mean, we're on the tick mark before the big line. That's where that's first down. Move.
But if you review that much, you slow it down.
yeah.
Yeah, it's short wing. Yeah, just come in and yeah. We don't want to be out there all night. Kill it.
So that's it. And what I was getting at, this was right when they were exercising that new mechanic in college where you don't kill the clock, but you got to take ownership of that.
Right.
If you feel something's awry and it's not good for the game.
But here we kill that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Turn down.
Right.
The bond saying, "Say what you have will count, bro."
Agree.
That's your problem. You're looking at that.
Yep. So there's on Friday nights, there's a very easy remedy for that. If you got a first down, you are quitting it,
All right, though.
calling your people, showing your referee I got one, pointing at, you know, whatever you want to do
Whatever it
to
takes.
make sure everybody's in tune.
Humidity.
I'll say anything.
They just start talking to one of the other fish. What you saying?
Yeah, I know, right?
Awarding a new series, change of possession, a new series for A. If A has the ball at the end of the down, live ball fouls and down replayed or penalty accepted, exception, clean hands. Talk about clean hands.
Is that it? But
We'll get a new series for B. B has the ball at the end of the down. All B live ball fouls occur after the final change of possessions, which would be, that is the basic definition of clean hands.
yeah.
So we'll talk about it. It's a quiz, but we've got the answer showing. So B intercepts A's pass during the return. B15 illegally blocks. Is B awarded a new series? Yes, because they did not foul before gaining final team possession, right? B intercepts A's pass. Prior to the interception, B15 holds eligible A10. Is B awarded a new series? No. It occurred prior to the final change. So what is and that's prior to the interception. It doesn't say whether the pass was in the air or not. I was going to ask about whether or not that's a DPI or a defensive holding, but don't have enough info to say. But if the quarterback's still holding the ball, when you identify that illegal action, there's going to be holding, right? We talked about the two-step process. So back judges or anyone who's happens to throwing on suspect action on an offensive or defensive player, look back and see if the quarterback still has the ball, because that's going to dictate a lot of what it is. B intercepts A's pass. Same page here. Moving on. B intercepts A's pass. After the interception, B15 holds. After. Runner B10 fumbles, A6 recovers. Runner A6 fumbles, B35 recovers and is down. Did B secure possession with clean hands? No.
Yeah.
So they during all that they fouled, right? At some point during that whole hoopla, which this is said this to somebody today because I knew figured one of y'all Jack Holes was going to ask me what the enforcement is on this. And I don't know. We know that when did the foul occur? Referees, that's what we want to know, the results of the play and the win, right? So if your calling official has all that information when it comes to you, good, we can sort it out. So you know that B's in final possession, but hey, Mr. Ref, B fouled prior to them gaining final possession. We know that, however, if a team fouls and we accept that penalty and enforce it, then the team in possession at the time of the foul is going to get the football. Yeah. So that is, and you know, like, well, if they had clean hands and B's fouls and we enforce it, then B's going to get the football. Exactly that. And so this is just one of those screwy ones. My best guess is that we're going to take this from the previous spot, just because there's really no other enforcement spot to take it. Any of you smart guys?
I thought it was the end of the related run.
It would be, and if we accept that penalty, though, then B's gonna keep the football if we enforce it from the B10 fumble spot.
A6 got the ball.
A, B.
A6 has possession.
No, B35.
Oh, B35 recovered and is down.
So just to make it clean, I don't know. Again, look, y'all think on this one, sleep on it, and holler at me.
I know
But
what you got over there. I'll see you think it'd be 10.
if we see it, just go previous spot and be done with it.
Previous spot.
Have a good ride back from north to wherever you at.
Yeah.
A's ball, yes, just to keep it clean, and because there's no other enforcement spot, we just take it from the previous spot.
Snap, we're ready.
You're ready, right?
They would have the inline play, they run it off. Yeah.
B's got the ball though.
So I will say, A would have to find the bit. Think about it.
It doesn't say. Oh, not A6.
But you're not.
Has the ball.
All right, and so, you know, it's a crazy.
No, they cannot. They fouled. When they have five, they cannot keep.
The interception is a change of possession. Huh? And so he intercepted it with clean hands.
But they still
fouled before final possession.
Yeah, or final change of possession. That's the key.
That's the thing.
So you don't have to. Yeah, that's right.
But in the take a lot of, I do a lot of, quiz questions and stuff, and this is the first AB that I've seen in a couple of years, so don't get too beat up on it. It beat me up this afternoon though, but Doug, do you think previous spot, is that the only place we can take it? If
That's the only place I can see, because now A has the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And now he fumbles, so he can't, that fumble spot, it can't be a point of reference in fumble.
B's fumble spot?
Right,
Yeah, really.
it can't be a spot of reference, right?
Cause that B don't have the ball.
A6 got it.
A6 got it with clean hand. So yeah, so you gotta go previous spot.
So go.
The results of the play is A's in possession of the ball.
Well, B is in the final possession.
I thought A's.
B is in
Oh,
the final
B.
possession.
Oh yeah, so they didn't get it.
Yeah,
So
so now
B,
you-
my bad. So yeah, previous spot.
That's serious.
Yeah, somebody, chat GPT.
I know.
Scrimmage down, live ball foul, no change in possession, so we'll get a little easier here. If accepted, the down is unchanged, so A holds, got a foul, offensive holding in the backfield. We're gonna repeat third down, right? unless they want to decline it and move it forward. So, loss of yardage.
Like I always do.
Multiple exceptions, PSK. PSK, we know there's several qualifiers for that one. Kick's got to be beyond the neutral zone. Foul's got to be beyond the neutral zone. K's not going to be next to snap the ball. KCI, what is the penalty enforcement for KCI? Spot foul, or they can take it back to the previous spot and have them replay the down, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, exception we're talking about it. So if B's foul leaves AMTS possession beyond the line of game. So if we've got a defensive holding on 3rd and 5, going to go previous spot, that's going to take them beyond the line of game. It's going to be 1st and 10 in most cases. And a couple more there. Scrimmage down, live ball foul. So let's go. Yeah, a couple more quiz questions. 3rd and 20, B roughs the passer. What's the down after the enforcement? Talk about the roughings, right? That's when you're going to have those every year. That NFHS quiz, or rather survey, talks about whether or not we should have automatic first down implications on pass interference. But hopefully, you'll answer no.
Mm-hmm.
3rd and 20, B commits a defensive pass interference. What's the down after the enforcement?
Third
down.
Let me ask you a question before we go.
Yep.
That last play we were discussing. Why wouldn't A decline B's penalty and take the ball where it is?
If B's
He
got
ended up with the ball.
B, that's right. B-
I was doing the same thing. Yeah,
I knew it was something.
yeah, cause I thought A had it too. I'm like, why would-
Yes, and then enforce B.
And then he's like, B got it. I was like, oh shucks, okay. Now I see.
Still lucky they got.
That's right.
They want to get a ball and they sold that.
What point of reference is got to be done?
When they coach, they.
3rd and 2, A holds. What is the down after enforcement? So we're gonna again replay the down. A runs 10 yards past the line of game, throws an illegal forward pass. What's the penalty for an illegal forward pass? 5 yards. A lot of the foul if they're beyond the neutral zone and loss of down, right? But
Still made the first.
yep. So that bullet we talked about earlier, where we're not going to start on any down other than first, just because it includes a loss of down, we're not going to make it second and for A.
For me, I did.
Goodness.
Oh yeah.
He's pushing hard though.
So
Let's
43 pushing hard.
oh man,
It's a forefront. It wasn't, it doesn't look like.
So that's probably a stop, but you gotta come in. He's gonna have to live with that. When does that ball come out?
Blow it in. Just blow it in.
He's trying to reach it across the goal line and he pulled it out.
They didn't reach that.
He's trying to.
Pushing hard.
There you go. There
They
you go.
got full fire.
There you go.
That's what they're, that's what I was.
So after the measurement, what was the foul? We had yanking somebody off the pile, probably. Yep. So that was before the chains were set.
And I'm a headache out of that.
And we're at the 16, right? So we had a measurement, we had a foul that we were going to enforce. Is first and goal correct? This is literally that test question we had last year. Not correct, right? We haven't established the line of game yet.
No.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 16, right?
Mm-hmm.
Enforcement's correct otherwise, 15 yards from the one.
Yep.
Yep.
Hey, Brian, let me ask a question about that last one.
Yep.
The last slide where we're asking what down the 3rd and 10, right? Or that right there,
Bottom one, bottom right.
the bottom right. So the guy runs at 11 yards. It's a first down. He gets to the 11 yards, he throws the phone. Okay.
So it's first and 10 from the
You know me.
from the A20. So we're going out. So he runs to the 40.
Yeah.
What is it to make it even? All right.
But okay, so let's just say he's on the 20-yard line, it's 3rd and 10. He runs to the 31-yard line. And at the 31-yard line, he throws a forward pass.
Okay. Beyond foul, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Why is it? I'm trying to quantify why it's the first down.
That first down. That one is not first down. That one there says 10 yards past the line again.
Oh, okay.
So when he loses the 5, he still has enough.
All right, okay, so it's 10 yard. All right, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Everybody tracking that? We're good. Some FCS football.
That's Campbell. Campbell.
Campbell.
Really?
Phoenix now.
Phoenix now.
Football.
They were mighty prison.
One championship series. That the answer is the bowl championship.
All right, so everybody's holding up their 4s on the defense, that is, so apparently short, but we've got a foul. Let's see what it is.
Oh, I know, right?
What about your foot?
Oh, no. God dang it.
That's all.
Yeah, we in trouble now, buddy.
I just got screwed.
Just put the ball down.
That's fine. It's huge. Don't give me this something.
So it's easy to mess up measurements, right? Nobody likes doing them. You end up banging that. I've seen people, give an obvious first down and the chains reset, and then the coach come out on the field a little bit, and the referee get coaxed into actually marching them back out. Do not do that. If you bang the first down, keep it a first down. Live with it. You have to. In this case, I would say 3rd or 4th down. If it's half a yard, I say you measure, and if it's a blowout or whatever, you use your discretion. But from what I've been told, coming up and sitting in a lot of those R meetings, be best served. Don't measure for the defense, right? If your wings know the offense has it, if they've made the line of game. Again, it's good. We're going tick to tick. We've discussed that in years past, and that's all these nice turf fields around here. It's easy to do. Should be anyway. All right. Scrimmage formation and numbering. So we got our 5 guys in the middle, 50 through 79. On the regular scrimmage down, we have to have that, right? That's it. Somebody helped me with the old rule. You had to have 7 on the line of scrimmage and 50 through 79, and therefore the umpire had never got into what you'll do in there, but, yeah, so this is it now. And no more than 4 players in the backfield. So they're, ineligible receivers by number, and many of the offensive linemen are going to be ineligible by position too, at least a couple of them. In a legal formation, we know that's a foul simultaneous with the snap. That equals a live ball foul. So throw it high. Don't watch it go up in the air, and continue to officiate. So I think in the book, this got me confused as a young official. I think it says recommended numbering or something that would make you think that the QB and these guys have to wear these numbers, like they can't wear a 50 through 79. And we know that's not the case, right? Any player can wear any number, even 0 now. A couple of years back, I let a kid run around with a 0 when he wasn't supposed to. But I blame BSN or whichever freaking company sold them the uniforms. All right, numbering exception. Dave and then did a session with the rookies the other night, and he did a good job of this. But first, second, and third down, you may replace the snapper 1 for 1. And he can come in if it's a scrimmage kick formation. You must be between the ends. So, if they wanted to kick a field goal last minute, and I didn't even think about this, if you've got umpires be aware, and everybody, if it is a last second desperation end of half field goal, you got to make sure they have the right numbers, because first, second, or third down, they may only replace 1 player, and there's no allowances for the time critical situation, or when it is in the game, or who they've got left on the bench. Fourth down, they may any player 50 through 79 may be replaced. Doesn't have to be a 1 for 1 replacement. They can replace all of them. The offense can literally be numbered 1 through 11 in that case. But it's how they set up. And this year, there was a editorial change, rule change, whatever you want to call it, in addition to the book, which says, doesn't say locked in, but it now says what did it say last year when they initially set in their formation? Well, that left it completely open to interpretation. Now the offense is locked in whenever the snapper puts his hands on the ball.
Doesn't mean they can't shift.
Doesn't mean they can't shift. You just got to know that referees, umpires, that's something you should pregame. Whether the umpire and Dave, you're good, but by keeping 5 numbers compartmentalized, then once stuff goes down, that's it. Referees, I would say, get involved too. At least get your guard and tackle over there to help out, and just do the best you can. This is one of the most difficult places to officiate in football, for sure. When they do start shifting, and you wonder where the heck number 23 came from. Was he on the interior or whatever? That had it happen. Had it happen a couple times. Didn't get either one. So, scrimmage kick formation. Do we need to, and maybe we're nitpicking about that knee on the ground or not, right? I think maybe that's what we're getting at. But say his knee is squarely on the ground. Is this anything wrong with this formation?
Yeah, but the snapper doesn't get protected.
Not protected.
And if 19 catches it, puts his knee on the ground, and plays over.
It's down, huh?
And if I flag him for blowing up a snap, you gotta take me off of it.
Wow.
Yep. So by rule, he's got to have his knee on the ground. That's one of the qualifiers in the book. It's 1 player 10 or more yards behind the snapper, or 1 player 7 yards, no more than 7. 1 player less than 3, or however it's worded. So 7 and 3 and 10 is the numbers you gotta have in your head. And the holder has to have his knee on the ground. It's clearly specifically listed in the book. So by rule, this is not. I would say the first time they come out, referees, if you're astute and looking for it, tell them put his freaking knee on the ground. Unless he said, "No, coach, we're about to run something," then okay. At least is that right? Yeah.
But get close.
Yeah,
You gotta send
They
him.
might have to play where he's pitching it.
From that position, he can catch it and get it without having to lie.
Yeah.
Don't.
yes, yes.
You would hope that's something the coach addresses.
So and
Coach got your flag.
Who gets protection on that front? Or doesn't get protection?
Snapper doesn't. Snapper.
How about the
What
whole?
about the holder?
Yeah, they still do if you kicks it.
He's a holder.
He's
He
still a
kicks that
holder.
ball, that holder gets protection.
Even with the knee not on the ground?
Yeah, it doesn't take it.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
asking
he's a holder.
you.
He's a holder.
A holder by definition is one who holds the ball.
Right, they say that, he ain't be on.
If he kicks this ball, he is able.
Right.
Yeah, he off the ground.
Yes.
Still a hold.
But if he does kick it, and then the holder gets blown up, it's not,
That's.
It's not a rough one.
right, it's not.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I do.
I'm on the go.
So by definition of a holder is a player who controls the ball on the ground or on a kicking team. So by definition, he is a holder.
Well, don't say
But
anything
the
about.
formation, he is not. He does not have the lead.
Okay.
so, and what makes it an illegal formation is if they don't have good numbers,
Hmm.
right? So this guy, he can be doing a handstand or whatever, the holder that is. And if they've got good numbers, which I mean, those kids look big. I can see 64, 52. They probably have good numbers, right? So,
Right.
and maybe, so that coach is probably good. And the holder might scoff at me and say, no, we are gonna run a play. I'm gonna keep my knee up. Thanks. And, so this is not a foul, unless you get one of the other things we've been muttering happens. You have and so the snapper doesn't get protection here. That's what we're saying? Yep.
And if the holder catches it, puts his knee on the ground, plays over. I had a coach tell me in the pregame, and I asked him about any trick plays, and he told me, yeah, when we fly up for our extra point, our holder won't put his knee on the ground. And then we might run, some kind of a thing. I said, well, that's great. I said, A, your snapper doesn't get protected. Well, no, we're in scrimmage situation. No, you're not. His knee's gotta be on the ground. B, if he catches the ball and puts the knee on the ground, the play is dead. Oh, I've never heard of that. Like, yep, can't do that.
Hey, Brian, would you relay that to your umpire before the snap?
What's up?
Like, to let him, because he can't see that, now, then when David's saying like. No, I would flag it.
So you just call him off of. Take him off. Cause he had to say, look, you wasn't on the ground, so. Yeah, you you gotta have a flag.
I still say the defense ain't gonna be smart.
And the defense ain't smart.
Recognize that. The umpire's already gonna say pre-snap, don't touch the snap. So you likely not to be the way.
Brian, we got a question back.
If the holder's knee is on the ground, he's still right once he catches the ball.
He has
As
to
long as he
rise.
rises first.
He has to rise.
Before he catches the ball.
No,
No.
right before he pitches.
So no more or less miles from the knee.
No.
He on the ground, only you go hold it. Right. When you can get up and do anything, but you can't go back down.
Right.
Before he.
Can you hold it?
Okay.
So, yep, and if he's got his knee on the ground, he may rise temporarily or move temporarily to retrieve an air snap and return right back to the spot where he was to place it for a kick.
Not a muff.
But not a muff. Yeah, if he muffs it himself, he can't go get it and then come back.
I got another meeting, man. Old Seminette. Yeah.
Where did he come from?
Right behind his right wing.
He's a halfback.
Can they do that now?
Yep, so he's.
No, can't do that now, right?
Inside that.
Cause you can't be within the shoulders of the snap. Can't cop.
Back behind the snapper for us.
That cop, no.
Well, that's the question. Can somebody be in the line, the clear path between the potential kicker and the snapper? Does that disqualify it from being a?
It's not fair.
It's not a fair play.
Formation.
So, and that's, based on the title, I guess that's what they ruled here, these guys did, and,
You leave that number.
Gotta have five.
579's on the line.
They're gonna run this play.
I see 40.
Yeah, I see a 40, 36, 48.
This is called, maybe good.
Yeah.
36 and then.
yep, but so, and what makes it a foul, the guy can do that, but it's not a scrimmage kick formation, they've got bad numbers, right, so
They've
the,
gotta have 579.
and the announcement would be, you know, illegal formation, not enough players on the line, number 50 through 79. And the team was not in a scrimmage kick formation.
Not Randy. Play off field goal, I mean, if they love it. Scramble around and run with it, I mean, if they only got. 50 through 79, this will get legal formations.
Not if they're in
Not
the
they
legal
start.
scrimmage kick formation
At the beginning.
at the beginning of the play.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they can run it in with only 50 through 79.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got another number at 7:30. Got another meeting, SIAC,
Oh.
4 days a week. Yeah.
Hey, only give James a half the meeting.
What's her name, Jane? 66.
meeting goes. Thanks for stopping by.
Just
Get it at the night, he's not getting credit.
Wicked meeting.
Okay, so first is he 10 yards? Yeah, so the punter standing on the 31, ball snap from the 41. Good there. I can't see where this these upbacks are, but I don't think they've got their hands down to receive the snap. I guess they're linemen. But watch the top of the screen. So the ball snap from the 41. Receiver out there's on the 40. Moffrey, you putting them on or off?
So in this formation, I only got 3 eligibles right here. I got the guy at the top of the 40, I got the guy at the bottom of the formation, and I got a back. So that's all I got eligible right now.
So the tight end.
So this right here.
Yeah, I got
This
him
guy.
eligible, that guy eligible, and that guy eligible.
Okay.
Cause the guy at the bottom now.
The bottom. Under the
Oh,
He's on the
One
line.
way down here.
Yes,
So he could be.
Oh, so, yeah,
He's not
excuse me, so-
that guy.
That guy's eligible.
Yeah,
I didn't see that on it.
He's not.
Yep.
He's not.
Still got 3 eligibles.
This tackle over is
The
not.
two up guys are eligible. Yeah, he's calling him.
There was option on off the line of scrimmage,
He looked like he was.
and this thing would have been fine.
Was a yard off? I mean, that's I know.
Depends what he reported.
Yeah, if he's got a big hand pointing downfield, you
There's like a lot of them going down this board.
Yeah.
A lot of illegals outfield that way.
A yard off the ball.
You still got the ball. There they go.
Yeah, you still got other people down too.
yeah. So snap from the 41, the 43's right here. I mean, these guys look pretty good. They're definitely good. But this guy was, if we're saying this guy was on, this was the guy that was covered up right here.
Unless they got
It-
off.
If he was off, I
Unless
don't,
he was off.
was the official up there have his hand out?
If the gunner was off, he's good.
Can't see what he's doing.
I can tell if his hand out. He did not.
Yeah, was the gunner was off, yeah, so he was off, he off from.
In this play, I'm gonna put him off. This was left and ran.
So
the yard back.
we don't have football fundamentals in high school, but when you're running a tricky formation, you need to run it exactly to the letter of the law. There is no like variance when you're trying to run a fake punt or. Y'all, you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I agree with that.
You're trying to trick the defense, you need to run perfect formation.
You don't need a gray
And
area.
that was great. That's leaving it up to the official.
Yep. So if it's,
Johnson was the only
That's my
one.
opinion.
was he on or on? You had him on.
I had him on.
Then he's covered up.
I
And
think
so
the
what?
official did too.
What's the foul for that?
Illegal man downfield.
That'd be a legal touch.
Yeah, he caught it. Yeah. Lost it down.
Yep, 5 yard previous spot, lost it down.
These bullets.
That's a big one.
All right, the snapper.
They don't want me signal, that's the big one.
Hands may be beyond the foremost point of the ball, so he may come over and hook it like that, right? His hand can be beyond, but his hat can't be over the ball or beyond it. His other hand can't be in the neutral zone, and his feet as well. He may lift the ball, which I mean, I feel like that's rocking it backwards, but you want to keep it less than 90 degrees, and failure to keep the ball at a 90-degree angle, which would be obviously turning it to where it's at the ends of the football or facing each sideline. Can't do that. You know, some guys in here said it's easier to snap that way. Yeah. And it may not change the location of the ball. So this is in this is in the NCAA book this year written. But there's actually a yard, says may not move it more than half a yard, and that would be a warning. So I think that would be a good rule of thumb. Here's Weld that comes out and does it. Dave, you discussed it at length with them. Come out, if he moves it just a little bit, half a yard, it's a warning. First time, next time you do, the umpires keep it square in there and do what you do.
And definitely wing officials will see that more so than I would. Because they're the ones.
Yeah, the wing students.
Yeah, you set up on football.
So there's, y'all have seen the picture. I think we published it in here where Miami and Boston College on the goal line, but the snapper comes out and he's done moved it forward and the doggone shot straight down the line in USA Today is the ball in a goal line stand sitting on the goal line. You know, it's past the white, probably touching some color on the other side of it.
Yeah.
So after the ball's ready, gotcha. Yes, have to run on in.
Not a fourth and goal from half yard. Cause he comes out and moves it every time.
Yeah, get it early. I mean, they tend to do it.
You don't call it the first period, don't call it the fourth. Call it in the first period.
Get it down.
So after the ball's ready for play, he may not remove both hands from the ball. So he can have both hands on it. May take one hand off, put the other one on, can do this. But if if the snapper has touched the football, put one hand or more on it. If he takes both of them off, then it is it's a foul. Make any movement simulating the snap. So let's be good enough and dialed in enough to where we can differentiate a snap infraction or an illegal snap versus a false start. Any movement of the ball, whether it be forward and then backward or a twitch of the ball, bona fide is an illegal snap or a snap infraction. But we know that a full body flinch would be a false start. Any movement of the head is not down near the football, anything designed to make the encroach, that's still going to be a false start. All right, what's the center? The snapper.
He didn't have an AC floor.
Yeah, look how far it moved that ball forward. We need an extra yard here. You go.
They got a big wiggle fence.
You wanna make sure his helmet wasn't on the ball.
So again, depending on the game, time, situation, use your discretion. Moving it forward is obviously that's not an illegal thing to do, but if he does it early, get him early with a warning. Snap again when the ball's first moved must be a quick, continuous backward motion. Jonathan was out there showing off the other day and doing some snaps, around the around the body, backwards and all that, but they don't have to go between the legs. The snap ends when the ball touches the back or the ground prior to an A lineman. Ball must immediately leave the hand. That's another snap infraction, illegal snap that you'll see is where he snaps it back, but he understands that it's the wrong down, is actually able, has a good grip on it, actually able to hold on to it, hits his butt, and then he brings it back to the position he started from. And that's not legal, right? If he does that, it does hit his butt and it leaves his hand immediately, then it's all good, right?
To the ground.
And it hits the ground.
Get on.
And excludes ball adjustments against spinning it or, you know, whatever it does that's not twitching his fingers or trying to make B encroach.
Resolutions too tough.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, actually, this video here just
Shit.
he just squeezes it too tight and it trickles away. So
It's so strong.
They allow body cameras on the house?
Yeah, right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
in those big games.
It held on to it, backed up and then snapped
Say,
it.
this is smart plays, but that is. He doesn't do that, it's just a cool ball.
It's like, we practice this.
It's all this ball, but it's just like, John's the same. That's what he does. That's a fumble, Saturday had different rules, and that's a fumble on Friday night, so
Not a fumble, right?
that's the fumble.
But backward pass.
That is.
Yeah.
I agree. That's a
So it's new backward passes, which are legal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was did he move his hand backwards?
Yep.
And as he's moving his hand backwards, it slips from his hand.
Yeah.
I mean, some people would say shut it down. You're causing yourself a lot of trouble by letting that bounce around and stuff. And I mean that's what they did too. And I can see it both ways. But
That would be a problem,
It ain't
right?
my job to snap the ball. It ain't my job to snap the
That's
ball.
right, that's
That's a bad snap.
you better let it go Friday night.
So the only way that would be good people. He did a forward pass. Well, it's not that, but if the guard picked it up.
Or if he picked it up, right? Could he have picked it up there at the center?
Didn't say it was didn't say it was a slight. They're back to back.
Any B player.
yep, unless it's a planned baseball play in the vicinity of the snapper.
So yeah.
That's what we got going on here.
I don't think center will snap it.
Bad snap.
Yeah. There's not been, there we have quick function. Well, this.
Like, oh, looks like it is. Say,
That was not the happy come.
This is wild bang. Thanks.
How was that a false start? How was it?
Yeah. We call it snapping.
Same thing.
They're called snapping practice.
Well, is that a snapping factor?
Yeah.
Snapped it.
Or whatever my umpire tells. Did it go down? Right there, it looks like he's squeezing the ball, it still looks like the same.
Yeah, I know, that's what I was, yeah, that's.
Hit his leg.
Y'all need to stay again, the center squeezes, these are big ass dudes, and it squeezes, shoots right through his hand.
That's
That's fresh.
not snap.
I'll pass that.
It's not, right, it didn't hit him perfect.
Yeah, and it's not different function, I mean.
Yeah, that's not.
Really, it's not.
Whenever my umpire comes to me and reports, that's what we're gonna go with.
Yeah,
He's looking right at the ball, right?
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's definitely.
Trust.
Believe.
Go see his. Will you see his?
Yeah, but
Why that wouldn't be a fun business?
Because there's nobody else needs to be having.
It's not the team motion.
Yeah, hit him.
he basically drifted and squeezed it and it shot out of his hand.
That's what it looked like,
Yeah.
snap.
So again, Gary, he always makes this point. It can hit him. He's the snapper. He's not. The snap ends or what does it say about hitting
The
the ground or a back before it hits another A lineman?
Yeah.
So he's not another A lineman.
Yeah.
They can hit him, but this almost. Did he squeeze? Did it shoot out like the other one? I mean, that's tough. Umpires not into his wings. You know.
But it's not a continuous motion back.
Yeah.
I just don't see his arm going back.
There's a lot less people that call.
This again. I heard it called fumble a couple times. That is never a fumble, ever. It's a backward pass, right?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah, you can't on that.
Y'all see the difference? He's snaps that.
He was expecting the hands to be under there, though.
He snaps. That just slipped through his hand. He snaps that.
Snaps, yeah.
Bumble right there.
Fumble.
That's a bad.
That's a fumble right there. Yeah, that's a live ball 100%. Yeah.
Looks like he's.
So and that's what So this gets mucked around. Why naming nomenclature is important. If this squirts around and goes out of bounds 10 yards beyond, we're not bringing it back to the spot of the snap, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that ball ended up going forward. It's not a forward fumble.
It's not a fumble.
Speaking of squirting out.
That's my play. Yeah.
You in on this
Yep,
as referee?
I was the referee.
What happened? Walk us through it.
It's a screw us, that's what happened. You gotta slow it down really to see it, but in live action, it looked like it was just a fumble, but
It's a false start.
it's a false start.
Yeah. So everybody
Because it hit,
Center.
yeah. It hits
It hit it on
54's
his
leg.
leg. Yeah.
54 hits his leg.
That's one fast ass line. He
That's
got
one
behind him
slow
before
snap.
snap.
Oh, yeah.
Looked like the whole line moved
So-
before the ball.
Yeah.
Let's
False start.
we'll be real. Full start on everybody moving except the snapper, right? That old hockey league call, but
You just say
If-
offensive bicycle.
if they would have, if he would have gotten off at the same time, and that lineman did happen to be the flash and get behind him that quick, then that's what we said earlier. It's hits the ground or back before it hits another A lineman. So
It's hard for you to see that ball.
What did we call? Game over? It was like 2 seconds left on the final.
Was it?
You didn't have a good angle on that. You wanted your wings to help you on that. You can't see that.
Yeah, you definitely gotta have wings.
You couldn't see that.
all right, so
No.
lineman, this graphic, no man's land, confused the heck out of me as a younger official too. But we know that the imaginary line drawn through the waist of the snapper, that's what indicates that's the first point of lineman that we need to have. So players facing the opponent's goal line with shoulders parallel there too, head or a foot breaking the snapper's waist, the line drawn through it, that is. And lineman on either side of the snapper may lock legs. So the guard and the tackle may not lock legs, just with the snapper, right? And the other lineman could be foot to foot. I guess the foul simultaneous with the snap is interlocked to legs. Anybody ever called that? So no man's land, what 88 up there? He's breaking the waist of the snapper, right?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. He's got his head squarely in between it. What would put him in no man's land is if he moved down a little bit and was breaking the waist of 73. So that means that in that case, he's breaking the waist of the nearest lineman who's on the line of scrimmage. And means he's not clearly a back or a lineman, and he's in the wrong area. So technically, that's a foul for illegal formation. Live ball foul.
Football. That's wingman foul.
Yeah.
What's that?
Umpire never seen
No man's land?
No.
You're talking about, yeah, just.
I see that flag. Go to see you call.
Yeah.
All right, back positioning. So let's and again, 8 players with no part of their body breaking the waist of the nearest lineman. So we talked about him. If we moved him down to right here, he's still breaking it. That would be head or foot. So we need him back even further than that. And the reason they would do it, either they're poorly coached or they're trying to cheat and they're trying to work you and work the defense into a situation later on to where they don't know, should we cover him or not? You know, what's going on? So Jonathan will say to make it legal and don't go looking for it, and I agree, but something's got to give. So max of 4 backs, right? No more than 4 players in the backfield. What's the foul if they got 5 or more? Legal formation, live ball foul. All right, so let's count them here.
That's fine.
So if you're gonna see it, I mean, there's no sending this to Charlie and arguing this one, right? That's clearly 5.
Yeah.
Our current mechanic, I can't see. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt there at the bottom. Looks like he's got 2 fingers for sure. So that is we've got 1 at the top. We're punching back just the widest players off, right? That's the current SCFOA mechanic. So at the top, he would just go straight back once he recognizes this guy's off. Guy at the bottom, he'd give a here or whichever way you prefer to do it, a little waggle, just because we're 53 yards and 4 inches away, and then stick it out to the side to denote that you've got more than 1.
I don't think they changed that mechanic in high school, Brian.
What's that?
Just the widest guy.
Is it?
No, you gotta get them both.
Even at 3.
Forever, they need to change that. They don't listen.
So I misspoke that. So we get all the receivers, however many you got on your
Even
side.
if that widest guy was on the line of scrimmage, that dude would still be punching back.
Yes. So I misspoke there
He never.
slightly. So we do.
That's why the coach is on the field.
Yeah, that's why he's going.
He's losing his mind over here because they didn't call this. And it was obvious to him as he looked at it.
You heard me say if we had the widest guy was, yeah. So you want to, especially if both sets of numbers are bad. If the bottom guy was judging his tackle to be in the backfield after multiple warnings, if he was judging this wing back to be in no man's land, then we would only want to have 1 flag. But if you're communicating correctly, if you can see each other, if you're in sync and have pre-gamed it, would love 2 flags here. Charlie would want that too. Big Bear would want that for sure.
You don't have any flags.
And did they not flag it? I didn't even know.
I don't see any flag.
They did.
Yeah, but the guy on this side, the coach who got 5 in the backfield, so I don't know what he's upset about.
He's already yelling at the official.
Yeah, but it's his team.
This team is defense.
Yeah, this side is defense.
This side is
Because the
defense.
home side is the other.
They already got the pocket for him.
You have to salute.
So a lot to hate here, huh? So we're well into the game now. If either of these tackles have been doing this, you would hope that they've been warned at least once or twice.
3, 4, back to 5, 6.
But yeah, again, either of the tackles, the guards, or especially this left guard, he's is there space? I can see it from here. But it's a different angle that they've got. Both tackles definitely off. You've got more than 4 in the backfield. But yeah, he was. I think at the top he's cocked and ready.
Yeah.
Maybe we've got some commentary, but moving on. Ball start after the ready for play. That's with all the other fouls too. Most of the encroachments, delay of game, you're certainly not gonna have before they're ready for play, right? Unless it's somebody throwing the ball or like that, but a play clock situation. Because the play clock's not starting with the ready for play, right?
After ready for play and center has to have, snapper has to have his hand on the ball.
Yep.
There's an and on there, not just ready for play.
For false start, for sure.
False start.
So shift or feign charge, simulating action at the snap. So picture OG, Georgia Tech, Paul Johnson, Army, shit bad out of hell, shifting, sending backs one way or another, or if you're in a game situation that would dictate it, as a coach, third and short or fourth down, shifting a little bit differently than you normally would to try and draw B offside or R. And lineman position between the snapper and the end, moving the hand or making any quick movements after placing hand on or near the ground. So if you're covered as a lineman, if you've got an end on the outside of you, or if you're an interior lineman, if your hand is on the ground, may not move it. Otherwise, if you're a tight end, you got your hands resting on your knees, you've got a split end out beyond you, you may shift, right? There's no problem with that if your hand's not on the ground. In a controlled step back manner, may move to the other side or do whatever you want to do. But any lineman that's covered, so to speak, with his hand on the ground may not pick it up after he's placed it there. Where's this? Camden?
Gilbert.
Gilbert?
Camden's historic, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, yeah.
And they will pay you that, or they will pay him 148 times. It was bad.
Yeah, I can see I see the tomahawk on the field. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
Nice tackle.
tackle move.
Left tackle.
Yeah.
Lifted his hand, moved and.
It's just a slight readjustment.
He went first place.
Probably 40 points.
It was a 40-point lead.
Yeah.
The game, let him go.
Wow.
They beat.
All right.
I didn't see anything. I know, probably over.
So he left early, right?
What's that?
We got a false start here with a bunch of
Yeah.
He was trying to. Is that Canadian football?
That's
Football.
several keys.
so yeah, I mean that slot back, that running back too. That if you wanted to get that for a false start, I don't see why not. That's simulating action at the snap.
It hurt.
So this play again, that was a long clip for a little false start, right? That's one where you might want to add. I don't know if this is the mechanic anyway, but prior to the snap, false start, just so there's no so nobody thinks otherwise. And we could talk about this, right? I remember us beating this one up last year. Controlled shift, right? What down is it? All that comes into play. Is this a controlled shift? I think last year I said it pretty much. There's no herky jerky. Well, unless yeah. So he's
They got two guys moving.
But they do. And they both agree, but they both.
Yeah, no, they when the coaches don't think that.
and what I said on this brand new video. He's got his hands below his knees, but it doesn't matter, right? This guy that's covered up, it doesn't have his hands on the ground, as I was just talking about. So he can move and shift. That's no problem. So
I think it's cut. You see that bottom guy's.
I think that's when
I think it was in.
shift was okay, but the guy that's down below walked across the field.
Was.
that's the
The official call that made well, that's.
decision you got to make, though, right? Was the shift smooth and controlled, and did they do it to draw that goal off, and were they successful?
Well, Pella was talking about something that last year. He was making. I don't need to bring that.
No, that's an idea.
What he tells you and what he does.
Nice.
Anyway, it's gonna be hot.
This is recorded, right? So All right, legal shift. So it is what, fourth and a half? What do you think's gonna happen? We should be thinking that anyway, right? If you're in the game, gotta
Do you have
be.
enough men on the line?
Gracious.
No, you don't.
Could be someone else. Or five. Yeah.
He's on the same line as the other guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
that part.
Yeah, it's definitely false.
That's false start.
Definitely. This is sprinting full tilt towards the line of scrimmage.
Shit. Yeah, I just wanna see the defensive formation. He comes out and does that.
So we all, this is 100% a false start. Get it?
That's a false start, whether the defense encroaches or not.
Right.
Yes.
It's bad enough. I agree. There's no timing implications here, right? I mean, the clock's not running, so and we're well outside of 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So legal shift versus motion.
If the snapper didn't have his hand on the ball and they make that shift, it's still be.
I would still call it.
Still call it just.
Kill it, man. Kill it.
Let's say you're not
Call the
You're being deceptive. Yeah.
Hey, if they did it on 1st and 10.
Aren't the restrictions, don't those restrictions start when the hands go on the ball?
But what happens if he didn't put his hand on the ball? I
I
mean,
would call.
He did put his hand on the ball though.
Yeah, no, but the question is asked if he did.
Yeah, you got nothing.
If he did, you got nothing, because your snap's not there.
But it's just like going out of the huddle.
Can we go back and look at the clip real quick? I'm so sorry.
I'm splitting hairs.
He does put his hand down.
let's say he
Right at
does it,
the end, when everybody goes to run up,
say he does it and they do this and the
Then they
defense
got-
jumps offside.
they still wouldn't be, it wouldn't be encroachment.
They wouldn't
They
be
wouldn't have his hand on the ball
It's
yet.
not encroachment either until the hands roll.
Until his hand's on the ball.
His
It's almost simultaneous.
His hands on the ball.
Yeah, they do it to draw the defense off.
Watch his hand.
False start.
Okay, fair enough.
False start.
Tie goes to false start.
Well, the offense knows the snap count, so
Yes, sir.
anytime there's a, both jump, give it to the offense every time.
And obviously, the whole.
Yeah, but it's a design shift to simulate action of the snap, or to design and make them jump, so to speak. So legal shift versus legal motion. Again, something as a young guy, and I think in Redding's book, it talks about 2 players moving at the snap is a legal motion. That's not correct. We know that's an illegal shift. Not all players come and set before the snap, so they run on out. We've got 2 receivers that are toiling about and out there at the numbers, don't know what they're doing. Illegal shift, right? Whether it was got to come set for 1 second prior to the snap. 2 or more players moving at the time of the snap. So you'll see this when there's just a miscommunication with backs talking about the Georgia Tech or Army. You see that sometimes early in the season where one is supposed to go in motion or shift and the other one does also. Or if you send a player in motion or shift one and then before that player comes set again, somebody else goes in motions. That is essentially 2 players moving in the snap if the ball snapped. In a legal motion, always think of Arena League, right? Player moving forward the snap. It doesn't have to be that demonstrative. It can be a player who's gone in motion and just does a little turn up. Don't want to split hairs there. Make it big in that case. But
It's also a legal motion if you have a guy on the line of scrimmage, he goes in motion without going 5 yards.
Yep, goes in motion from the line of scrimmage and does not get to 5 yards before the snap, right?
That's why they killed that play. They killed that? They killed that.
They killed it. So illegal shift and illegal motion.
Regulating the snap, go ahead and kill it. It's okay. That's not very.
Well, slash. Basically off early.
Yeah, both guys.
So again, if you rule that jerky enough to where they were simulating the snap, then sure, call it a false start. Otherwise, if it's controlled but both are moving, what did we call that? Illegal shift. 2 players moving at the snap.
And don't
Don't kill a fly.
Just a couple more. Garrett told me to get through slide 60. I'm at like 55 or 60.
Yeah, I got a meeting.
Me too. Another one. I got a meeting.
Yeah.
We get another shutdown on this one there, right?
So, see. Sharpie didn't come out there and say.
You could get him for an illegal. It's been like right there, you could have got it, it's been like that too.
Okay, yeah. Okay, with ball start there, I'd rather just be a dead ball foul.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I'd rather do that than call back a touchdown. Nothing happens here.
You could definitely get it right there. Fill it.
So this little, the slight lean there, if it's no more demonstrative than that, I'm okay with letting it go completely, but this whole juck and dive towards the line of scrimmage. Yeah. You can argue, it can be argued that he was simulating the snap.
Yeah.
Good for that one to get it, but it's the other guy.
That's what I kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So if a good line. If a player goes in motion from your side of the ball as a wing official, you've got him all the way over. Everybody knows that, right? So even if he starts at your numbers and gets to the other numbers, you at least got to keep him in your peripheral, but you're responsible for him. Meaning, if he doesn't get set, you see somebody coming from that side, or this receiver in front of you goes in motion as well before that guy way over there gets set. Responsible for all. So just keep note of that. All right. Pretty controlled there.
Yeah, but now you got 5 in the backfield. Yeah, is it the top guy?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Both on.
I'd say you got 5.
Is his hand on the ground?
Both are on.
Yeah,
I think the top guy's on.
2, 3, 4 is the top guy on.
Yeah.
Now, if you look how far away he is from the line, he's off. That's top.
That's what I was thinking.
I get reported now.
5.
I gave it to him.
I remember Garrett sent this to me. So, one
Category for neither.
Yeah, because he's I'd say Garrett. Well, first of all, he's not a back or a lineman, right? So
What's illegal about the shit?
well, it's what it says about lineman shifting is that no lineman, after placing his hand on the ground and being between, but he's not breaking any kind of to say that what I can't see that far. Is he just dangling it and making it close? Is he? You get it close. The one on the inside of the 3-point stance. I don't know.
They're tied in on this side. South.
Yeah.
That doesn't make him a lineman.
Stands up on the ground.
He's covered, but there's
Right, he does that.
there's
When
the
he gets done, he's done.
there's the snapper's wedge right there. He's not even.
One, two, what's the top guy?
Don't know if his hand is on it.
Oh, that hand's on the ground.
Top guy's off.
But it's not a lineman.
But after the snap around the same. Okay.
He could do. Yeah, I did.
You're saying he wouldn't lie?
Yeah, he's back. He's in the backfield. I'm just
The definition of a lineman.
Yeah, that's what he's.
I'm just pointing
Looks
out.
like he is in the back.
You got the other one. You're that close, but you're not. He showed us look like he.
I got him on. Yeah.
Well, he's exactly the guy that things.
Yeah,
He's
he's
on the
back.
line.
He's not on the
Top,
line.
definitely on.
It's a snap.
He ain't online, that tackling online.
That's true.
Oh, shit.
The tackle's taller.
If he's standing up, he ain't online. Seeing online.
The tackle was breaking.
I go back, there's only one reason they're running this play,
Yeah, to be deceptive.
right? That's false.
But Garrett sent me this, and I was trying to be antagonistic and say, "Well, he's not a lineman, and so that
Jonathan, you
that doesn't apply to him." But
Spelling right there, baby.
Oh, he's saying that, yeah. Jonathan, you killing that play?
Oh, I'd love to kill it. Yeah, let's get that false start, none of that. He had his hand on the ground. And if we're really he's on the line of scrimmage, that's false start. Takes his hand up.
Only if he's a lineman.
Too late to discuss water bucket. We'll watch one or two things. That's a false start, right?
Into the neutral.
It's a shit up.
Illegal.
Oh, okay. Anything on that? Definitely false start, right? So I think we're watching this slot or guy that comes up at the top. We got this tackle going down at the same time too, bobbing a little bit. About him offering, I ain't calling that. No, just I don't like. I'm all for it. If I'm working the wing and these again the receivers toiling about and not getting that getting their front foot planted, but still coming back with the back one. Man, get set. Be more in sync. But again,
You certainly not get an advantage. That'd be my question.
Yeah.
Certainly not get an advantage.
What's often clear, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, hustle up, man. Yeah.
but so actually the top one is actually he's more
Yeah,
he's the one actually coming back.
He's just walking out of there. Oh, yeah.
Tell the coach, hey, you wide receivers moving.
That's right.
So again, advantage, disadvantage. That's what I was just
I definitely
saying that, trying to take a stance. But yeah, the guy at the top more so than the slot that I pointed out initially. Kind of mood you're in though. If you're gonna warn him and just be consistent. Legal motion versus false start. Get more along the lines of what we were doing. So we get a quick jolt towards the line of scrimmage. That's gonna be what we're thinking, right? No brainer false start, right? If you judge that because he's moving forward, it was more than a knee break that was contemporaneous with the snap. He's into a full sprint before the ball gets snapped. So that's false start. Agree?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, middle guy.
Yeah, even Keith got that.
Nobody. Okay. That's it. All right. If you're a little bit over, sorry.